Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 2022 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibrations and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let us ask God, Source Spirit, however you see the divine in the universe, to bless us, to move us forward in healing, loving peace, keeping all that is negative, hurtful, and hateful from us. So let's see what energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have the Three of Swords. Okay. So what's interesting is we're in the Sagittarius time frame, right? The sun is the spotlight. The full moon is the spotlight. And here we can have a lot of light being shown on hurts, pains, disappointments, angers, upsets, things that have scarred us. And we could be looking at these scars and saying, why do you still have, control over me? Like, why are you holding me back? And what Spirit is saying is that we need to look at these traumas, acknowledge them, name them, and release them. Which sounds so easy to do, which is so terribly complicated. But really looking at our traumas, and it's going to be three major things that we're going to be looking at during this time. And coming to a realization that I'm not living in that space anymore because I don't want to. I can't do it. It's destroying me. It's kind of like it's draining all the color from my world and making everything gray and dreary and overwhelming. So just be aware of this. Now let's see what the tarot has to say. We're also going to go into the astrology of this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. So there's brilliant openings happening here. Okay, we have the Six of Swords, we have the Knight of Cups, we have the, Two of Swords, and the Three of Wands. Doors are opening, new opportunities coming our way. We find it very hard right now to trust our emotions. It can be because it's kind of like every time we open ourselves up to our emotions, it's like an emotional minefield. And we're thinking, I'm just going to close that door. I don't want to deal with this. But it keeps on making itself be known. So just be aware of this. Because right now we're becoming warriors of our hearts. Right? We're seeing what we love. We're seeing what we desire. We're seeing what we need. And we're letting ourselves move forward. This is water sign energy. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So if we're born on the cusp with Scorpio, or we have water sign energy in our charts, this part of our personality is going to be coming out quite profoundly. But there is a sense here of, how can I trust my love and my instincts and my desires and my heart and my passions to lead me forward? We're severing ties. It can be with a person, but we're also severing ties with certain preconceived notions that we've had, certain ways that we thought it has to be like this. and we're releasing. And as we're releasing, a new horizon opens up to us. All of a sudden, we start seeing things coming in. We start seeing ships coming in. We start seeing opportunities coming our way. We start saying, well, why the heck not? Instead of absolutely no. That type of thing. And what's happening here, Sagittarius, is that we have the full moon in Gemini. Gemini is our sister sign. So it brings out the best and it brings out the worst in us. And yet it is that spotlight that's on us right now. This full moon that is either on the 7th or the 8th of December, depending on where you are in the world, is 16 degrees in Gemini, and the sun is 16 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, what's very interesting here is that we're having two main powers that have been squared each other for quite some time, Saturn and Uranus, or for some time. They're starting to pull apart. And this brings a powerful shift from strong Saturn energy, which is all about reality checks and rules and regulations, and this is the way it has to be, to Uranus. And Uranus is about dreams and opportunities and becomings. It's about freedom and the future. And what we're going to see here is that we're having a shift from man-made law, this is the way it has to be, these are the rules, they're written out in this book, to natural law. This is the way it is on this earth. This is the passion. These are the seeds that are planted. This is the way the willow grows. This is the way the river runs. And we're starting to connect. We have 6 planets in mutable signs. Okay, mutable signs are adaptable and flexible. We ourselves are a mutable sign. Gemini is a mutable sign. Okay? But it can also be chaotic energy. It can also be energy that's all over the place. We can find sometimes it's hard to focus. Well, it's hard to focus because we're designed to have multiple things going. We're designed to dive deeper into many different, arenas. So we have the Sun and Venus in Sagittarius here with us. We have Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. We're ruled by Jupiter. Okay, so diving deeper into our emotions, we're finding that to be a little bit difficult, a little bit hard, a little bit challenging. Acknowledging that is going to be very important. We have the Moon and Mars in Gemini. Now, what happens with Mars in Gemini is wherever Mars falls, it energizes that sign. So our mind and our processing, it's energized. Our words, our connections, our, kind of going from idea to idea is amplified. It's energized. So we can feel even more scattered. We can feel even more like, oh, I have to know this and I have to know that and I have to see this and I have to see that and I have to have it all right now. If you're ADHD, we can feel like our ADHD is amplified. So being aware of this is going to be very important because what we start to find is that because Mars is in retrograde, we start to rethink things based off of past choices and past facts. But instead of saying, how could you be so stupid? I start saying, I did the best that I could at that moment. Things might not have played out the way that I wanted them to. It almost feels at times they seldom do. But I tried. And I gave it my all. And we start to be kinder to ourselves. Now the Sun in Sagittarius, right, is conjunct something called the Great Activator. The Great Activator is powerful visionary energy. Sagittarius, we are already pretty much a visionary sign. Let's be real. Okay? And so to be in the Great Activator, our dreams can seem more real to us than our realities. And that's why we can feel overwhelmed by them. The piranhas are all around us. They're going to eat up our dreams and our desires, and our emotions are too intense and too much. But what if the piranhas are there to eat up everything that comes against you? What if they're there to protect you? And what if our heightened emotional awareness during this time is our greatest ally and our greatest gift? We have the Black Moon Lilith, which is opposite Pluto, and the Black Moon Lilith is in Cancer. Now, Black Moon Lilith is intensive female energy. In Cancer is already female energy, motherhood, children, connections, kind of that birthing of ideas. That's coming forward profoundly. Now, Black Moon Lilith is never compromising. She fights to the end for her principles, and she's ruled by natural law, not by man-made law, just as we Sagittarius are ruled by natural law, not by man-made law. We are starting to see here, how does the river flow? Where do I need to be? What is it that I desire? What is it that I want? What is it that I'm looking for? How is my heart fighting for me? What is my heart seeing in me? What am I connecting with that I'm not even sure I'm connecting with? Like, there's a knowing around us, especially because of the great activator, that's activating our own visionary tendencies, which are already quite high. We're severing ties. The Two of Swords, you have a person standing there with two swords crossed over her, and it's like a scissor. We can cut. We can sever anything that we want to, any ties that we want to. And this can be a time where we're looking at things and saying, no, not this, not that. It's like we're cleaning house and we're releasing. And as we're releasing, a new horizon opens up. As we're looking at things, because we're so rigid with ourselves, it's either A or it's B. That's it. It's either black or it's white. It's either ink or it's paper. That's all you got. And now we're saying, well, why the heck am I doing this to me? Why can't it be colorful? Why can't it be, it's kind of like when you ask a little kid, or when I ask my nephew, like, oh, what do you want to color with? And I have, a pencil and a pen. And he's like, colorfuls, which are crayons and markers and everything like that. Why are we limiting ourselves? Why can't we let ourselves get messy, but with creating, with expression? So let's dive deeper, because there's something here. Like, we're afraid of this. We really are. We have all our ideas. We have everything we want. We have a boat, but it really feels like we're just shoved in this little part of the boat. Everything else is broken. There's all this trauma there around us. And it's like, why? Why is that? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. What's interesting here is that you've gotten some of the same cards as Scorpio. So if you're born on the cusp with Scorpio, like, I highly suggest you go and watch that video. We have the Ace of Wands, we have the Star, we have the Knight of Swords, and we have the Page of Pentacles. There is a sense of, as the horizon opens up to us, we become students of our possibilities and of our abilities. It's like, oh, well, I can do this, or I can go there, or I can have that. And why the heck not? We're crowned with the Ace of Wands. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift just for us. We're ruled by the wands and the minor arcana. So when this gift of passion comes forward, when this gift, like a torch in the darkness, where we are overwhelmed by our emotions, we're overwhelmed by the way that we think it's supposed to be, and the way that it actually is, we then start to see ourselves. We then start to say, well, what about this? And what about that? And what if I can? What if I can? What if I start every day with I am enough? I am blessed and I am loved. And I am living a beautiful life. And we don't have to believe it when we're saying it. I mean, a lot of times we won't. We like look at things, we'll look around us and be like, this chaos, this mess, how is this exactly where I'm supposed to be? But we're going to start to release a lot of hurt during this time. And we're being led by our dreams. With the Ace of Cups, with the Knight of Cups, we are fighting for what we deeply, deeply want. The Knight of Cups is our emotions and our desires leading us forward. The Star, Aquarius energy, is what we dream, what we deeply long for, that we can't say, oh, well, I wish I had bought this or that. We know it's not what we cross our fingers for and say, oh, I wish this will happen. It is a sense of, this is where I truly want to be. This is what I truly desire in my life. This is my passion. I'm sorry if you can hear my nephew throwing a fit, so I apologize for that. He's 3. We then have the Knight of Swords. We're cutting through a lot of doubts and fears and negativity. But the Knight of Swords is also the sense of, I can move too fast. During this time, as we're severing ties, we can be severing ties left and right and saying, you know what, that's it. I'm just going to go enjoy the circus and be left the heck alone and just do my own thing. And that's fine. If that's what we want to do, that's fine. But what Spirit is saying here, do not make your choices too quickly. Think things through. Weigh the options. Because you can become the hero of your story. Because you're releasing so much that has kept you tethered back. But you have to release it. And you have to see what you want. And make sure that you're releasing the right things. Not just the easy things. And it moves us to the Page of Pentacles. We are students of our prosperity and our bounty and our abundance and everything that we are planting and everything that we desire. And we are going to see that doors are starting to open to us. And instead of saying, I have every right, like, they should have opened a long time ago, we're going to say, how interesting. What am I learning from here? Like, what can I learn? Like, what can I take away? Even if I'm here for a moment, like, what does it teach me? What do I desire? What do I want? What am I diving deeper into? And it brings us to the Seven of Cups. It brings us to our dreams. This is my minor arcana dream card. This is my major arcana dream card. This is a time where our dreams of what can you dream? What can you think of? What can you be? It comes forward, both in the deep, heavy, like this is what my heart and soul longs for, and the kind of whimsical, well, what if I had this? And what if I had that? And what if I wasn't afraid to ask for what I really wanted? Instead of saying, oh, it's okay, instead of being placating and quiet and not trying to make any ruffles in the world. What if I'm boldly and proudly me? So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. I love it when the moon tells us adjustments are required. It's kind of like, I always think of an attitude adjustment, when your parents would say, you need an attitude adjustment. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, I have two. So what's so interesting here is that it says adjustments are required. The way that we're going about it, the way that we're moving forward, we're going to have to adjust our course. And we're also going to have to adjust the way we see ourselves and the way we see what we desire and the way that we're looking at everything. Because we're having that torch come forward, that Ace of Wands come forward, and it's illuminating so much. And it's like, oh, well, there's a big glacier over there. And oh, there's a cavernous hole. I don't want to hit one and fall into the other. So we're adjusting our path. And adjustments are going to be required because of what this moon is illuminating. Create. As we move forward with our hearts, and as we're brave enough to move forward with our hearts, to, use an overused term, but also a powerful term, as we embrace our authentic selves, as we say, this is what I want, this is what I need to be. When I veer from this course, I veer away from me. We start to create. Our dreams, what our soul deeply longs for, starts to become our guide. And I see these dreams almost as being so important to us that we've hid them away, we put them on the shelf, we kept them in the closet. It's kind of like when you get something so beautiful, you say, oh, I'm going to keep it for special. Only when the queen or only when the Pope comes to visit, will I take these out? That type of stuff. And now you're saying, I'm taking it out. I'm showing it to the world. It gets to shine brightly. And the moon is asking us, will we? Will we live in that creation, in that beauty, in that contentment, in that understanding of ourselves? Will you embrace this moon, and how will it nourish you? And will you let this moon, with its, great activator, with its visionary tendencies, will you let its visionary power nourish you and move you forward? Because we're walking through a portal. We're going to see that on the new moon. We're walking through a portal. We'll be in a different place by the new moon. Also, by the winter solstice, which is the 21st to 22nd of December, there's a realization that comes forward. And it's like, oh, wow, I didn't see this. Now it brings us to our subconscious Luna message, which says it's time to release negativity. And it's time to bring forward pleasure. Whatever pleasure you want in your life, whether it be personal or spiritual or, financial. It's like, what pleasure do you want? There's also a sense of that pleasure. It's bringing back the joy. It's time to release the negativity. It's time to cut those ties. It's time to be the hero of our story. Our subconscious negative energy. There's a sense here with the Six of Wands. It's like, so I got the same thing, again, with Scorpio energy. So I highly suggest you watch that video where it's like, beware false prophets, which I know is oddly biblical, but it's a sense of beware people who say the right things. Like, you want to hear what they're saying, but their truths aren't necessarily going to be your truths. Beware of who you're following and why you're following them and what you're trying to achieve. Your road is very personal. Also beware, you're going to have a bit of a difficulty celebrating yourself, seeing your worth, claiming your worth, knowing your power. This is going to be a time where, the I matter is going to be so important because you matter, Sagittarius. You matter so much. And instead of following somebody else, it's like, it's time for me to hold the banner. It's time for me to be that person who leads. And it doesn't mean we have to have a cult of personality around us. It means that we have to say, this is my life and I'm taking the reins. It's not anybody else's. It brings us to our subconscious tarot message, which is the Tower and the Page of Cups. A lot has changed in our lives. A lot has fallen apart, and we've looked at it like slack-jawed and went, oh my God, what is this? What happened? It has led us to become students of our hearts, students of what we desire. Again, the water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. The Tower comes in. It changes our world. It knocks down what we once thought was unmovable. And now it's well, now what? Be aware of this. Be aware that from destruction, from the rubble, you've learned more about your heart than you ever would have. Buddha says we learn through suffering, right? And it seems cruel. But a lot of times, if you look back at your life, some of the greatest lessons we ever learned were the hardest lessons we ever learned. And that's going to be important during this time. Because as we're looking at our dreams and we're looking at what we desire, we're looking at those harsh moments that have shaped us. We could be living through them right now. But our world has been changed. It has been rocked. And now we're learning how to trust our voice again and how to move forward in our own power. All right, Sagittarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we release all the negativity, hurt, and pain from our lives and from ourselves. And letting in all the blessings of this moon and of us. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius. And may you have a blessed moon. God bless.